Okay, I think we're ready to kick off this year's OutSummit. Welcome, everyone. My name is Sjödin. My pronouns are they or she. I'm the acting executive director of Outright Action International, and it is my honor to welcome you to the 7th annual OutSummit, for the second time hosted virtually. OutSummit is an annual global convening for the human rights of LGBTIQ people, organized by Outright Action International and CUNY School of Law. It is a space to come together across civil society, state and private sector boundaries, to share insights and best practices, and to strategize for promoting and protecting the human rights of LGBTIQ people everywhere. I'm so pleased to see so many of you here. We have actually had over 1,300 people register from over 100 countries this year. So if you are joining us for the first time, let me tell you briefly about Outright. We are one of the oldest global organizations working for the human rights of LGBTIQ people everywhere through advocacy at international, regional, and national levels by issuing groundbreaking research and designing and delivering tailored programming on key issues such as gender-based violence, tackling sexual orientation and gender identity change efforts, sometimes called conversion therapy, legal gender recognition, and many other issues in collaboration with our partners around the world. Every year, OutSummit is held around December 10th, Human Rights Day. And the choice of this date is not coincidental. For too long in too many places, to this day, human rights of LGBTIQ people are not recognized as such. Around 68 countries continue to explicitly criminalize same-sex relations. Only 15 allow legal gender recognition based on self-determination. 6 countries ban sexual orientation and gender identity change practices. And we see this concerted backlash against LGBTIQ and gender equality that is on the rise. Still, even in the face of continuing criminalization and growing backlash, our movement continues to take strides towards achieving recognition of human rights for LGBTIQ people everywhere. We see our cause advance around the world. And I mean, just some of the recent examples. Yesterday, Chile voted to pass marriage equality, which of course is a great win for us in the recognition of our humanity around the world. And so adding one more country to that list means a lot for all of us. Argentina introduced the 3rd gender marker option based on self-determination across all documents. And we heard recently how the US introduced the 3rd gender marker option in passports. Just this week, Canada banned so-called conversion therapy practices. We have seen the Court of Appeals in Botswana dismiss the challenge to the ruling decriminalizing same-sex relations, so the decriminalization stands. We have seen new pride events in the last few years held in Eswatini, Guyana, Micronesia, North Macedonia, Angola, Botswana, St. Lucia, and Bosnia and Herzegovina. So there are many places around the world where things are gradually getting better. But of course, there is a backlash and there is a pushback that we also see. We hear about the new law in Hungary, proposed banning promotion, I want to say, of LGBTIQ topics. There's a pending law in Ghana that would enhance criminalizations of same-sex relations and outlaw activism. And we see this kind of situation in many places, and we see violence by states and sanctioned by states in too many places. This is why we organize OutSummit, because we don't think that we can achieve progress without coming together across geographical and sector boundaries. And so a space like OutSummit is crucial for our continued progress. Thank you so much for joining us today. Before we go any further, I want to go through a few housekeeping items. OutSummit has to be a safe space. So please make sure you read our code of conduct, which is available in the lobby, which you can find on your screen to the left. We have a one warning policy. We will issue a warning if anyone breaks the code of conduct. We'll issue a warning through the private chat. And if it's not heeded and the behavior continues, the attendee will be removed and not allowed to re-enter. If you experience any technical difficulties, we have an OutSummit tech booth that will be live all day. So you can find it in the Sessions tab, and my colleague and Outright team member, June, will be there to answer any questions. If that doesn't work for you, you can also send an email to outsummit@outrightinternational.org, outsummit@outrightinternational.org, and pose a question, and we'll do our best to respond as quickly as possible. Sessions are recorded, but we're only recording the speakers. So unless you're a speaker, you will not be seen. Most sessions, but not all, will be available afterwards. All sessions feature live captioners, captioning the sessions in English. We have translation in certain sessions, Spanish, Arabic, and Bahasa. So this is noted in the session information that you find under the Sessions tab. In addition, you can change the text on the Feedloop platform for another language by using the Select Language button in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. And beside that button is a small circular black and white button where you can find a large selection of accessibility adjustment to make your experience more comfortable. If you have any trouble accessing captions or interpretation during sessions, please use the More button, which is indicated by 3 dots in your Feedloop video window. You can engage directly with speakers by finding their profile on the Speakers tab and sending them a message via the blue Start Chat button. We especially encourage you to do this if you'd like to ask the speaker a question after their session. And you can also interact with other attendees via the chat window in the lobby or through the networking menu. I think that was all the housekeeping I had to go through. Oh, and let me also say that we have realized that OutSummit is best if you're using Google Chrome. So if you run into any other troubles using another browser, please try switching to Google Chrome, because that has been found to resolve actually a lot of situations. So we wouldn't be able to host OutSummit without the generous support of our community and corporate sponsors. And I just want to call them out and thank them, because it's really, their support is invaluable. And I want to particularly thank our founding sponsor, the Small Change Foundation. I want to thank our presenting sponsor, the Adobe Foundation and Procter & Gamble Company. Our signature sponsors, the Anita Mae Rosenstein Foundation and the Center for Disaster Philanthropy, Critical Role Foundation, Levi Strauss & Company, Microsoft Corporation, and the Partnership for Global LGBTI Equality, PGLE. I also want to thank our premier sponsors, Dell Technologies, Global Citizen, Herman Miller Cares, Hunter Booth, HSBC, JP Morgan and Chase & Company, Michael Kors, Scotiabank, and the Walt Disney Company. Our major sponsors, Boohoo Group, Group Dynamite, Jamf, Waterdrop, and Zynga. Our official sponsors, Barclays, Blue Bella, Revolut, Verizon, and World Bank Group, Globe, and our friend sponsors, Seattle Pride and the David Bonnet Foundation. And we are also especially grateful for significant support from google.org. It is now my honor to introduce a speaker from our co-organizers at CUNY School of Law, Eduardo Capulong, the interim dean at CUNY School of Law. Please, Eduardo.
Thank you very much, Maria, and thank you to Outright Action International for partnering with us again in the 7th year of sponsoring this summit. And it truly is an honor and a privilege for me to just say a few words this morning to welcome you to the summit. And I join my colleagues, Lisa Davis of the Human Rights and Gender Justice Clinic, Camille Massey of the Sorensen Center for International Peace and Justice in welcoming you this morning. It's especially meaningful for me to join you this morning because the two founders of the Human Rights and Gender Justice Clinic were my professors and mentors at the school when I was a student here, Rhonda Copeland and Selena Romani. So again, welcome. It's quite fitting for us as CUNY School of Law to be co-sponsoring the summit with you because we're very proud of who we are as a law school. Those of you who know us know that we are the premier, that's what we call ourselves, the premier public interest law school in the country, because we graduate the most lawyers who go into public interest social justice work. With that, you won't be surprised that we've been voted one of the most LGBTQI friendly campuses or law schools in the country. Nearly a third of our students identify as such. We consider it a core value of our law school to be joining you in the international movement for equality and justice for our community. Thank you for doing this again. I am especially honored and especially excited because we are gathered as an international community, and we cannot do this without moving on a global basis. So I'm very, very proud of that. Let me just say a few words about our brief history with Outright Action International. Our students, of course, have worked with Outright Action, and our Human Rights and Gender Justice Clinic and Sorensen Center have very meaningful partnerships with you. The clinic itself has been very active in international courts and treaty bodies, and the center has been very active in training our students to serve in these roles. Again, we are very proud to co-sponsor this with you. We hope to do this in the many, many years to come. And I'm very excited with the panel discussions that you have, and also quite honored to be with Maria, Sjödin, and Aalap, Shah this morning to welcome you to the summit. And I wish you all a very productive next few days. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Eduardo. We're so happy to partner with CUNY School of Law on organizing this event. Whether virtually or in person, it's really great to work with you on it. I am now going to hand over to one of Outright's two co-chairs of our board of directors, Aalap Shah. Please, Aalap.
Thank you so much, Maria, and thank you, Eduardo, and the CUNY School of Law. So yeah, my name's Aalap Shah. My pronouns are he or they, and it is my distinct honor as the co-chair of Outright's board of directors to welcome you all. I am so proud of the work that Outright does, and I am particularly impressed and proud of the nimbleness, agility, and effectiveness of Outright, especially in this past year or two, being able to adapt to all the changes and unexpected situations across the globe. Two specific things come to mind that I wanted to highlight. First, as many of you may be aware, Outright started a COVID fund, and the start of the pandemic, for some seems very long, and for some doesn't seem long at all. But I know during those first few months of the pandemic, if you can recall, there was a very scary time for us all individually, but particularly, as we know, the pandemic disproportionately impacted and affected the LGBTIQ communities that we are a part of every day. I'm so proud that Outright launched the COVID-19 Global LGBTIQ Emergency Fund. To date, this is incredible. It is the largest relief fund for LGBTIQ people, and we have distributed over $3 million to over 300 groups in more than 100 countries. Over the next month, we will distribute more funds to projects aimed at combating vaccine inequality and supporting organizations that are advocating for access for their communities. The second note that I want to call out, this past summer, Outright bid a fond goodbye to our longtime executive director, Jessica Stern, who many of y'all know. as she joined the Biden administration as the US Special Envoy to advance human rights of LGBTQI plus persons at the State Department, the highest position focused on these issues at the US government. And we are tremendously proud that someone from our own organization who came as an activist and has been a leader at Outright for many years is now doing work at the national and international level for the US government. And we couldn't be prouder for that. And we know that she is the perfect person for the job, just given her exceptional skills, her dynamism, and her achievements that I've seen firsthand for many, many years. As many of you know, is under Jessica's leadership that we started OutSummit, bringing allies and activists from across the globe and across different sectors together to share best practices and build momentum for true and lasting change. Jessica left Outright after almost 10 years of being executive director. And for almost 8 of those, the right-hand person to Jessica is Maria. And so when it came time for the board to select someone to help with that transition, it was a unanimous decision that we asked Maria to take the helm as the new acting executive director. We're so proud of Maria, and I am so thankful and lucky that Maria is continuing the great work of Outright. Maria brings 3 decades of experience and provides, dynamism, provides stability, provides an international and intersectional perspective that we need so much right now. And I know that Maria, with the staff, continue to partner with you all across the world for the work that Outright does. We in the LGBTIQ movement know that periods of transition bring opportunities. The board is hoping to announce the next permanent executive director by the time of our gala in early June 2022. And we have started the search process and the search committee currently. We are looking forward to seeing what new heights our new leadership will take the organization to. And so, like Maria, I'm so pleased to see many of you from across the world joining us today. It is undeniable that the virtual format imposed upon us by the ongoing pandemic enables a truly global community to come together in this space. As our movement continues to face a growing backlash, coming together in whatever way we can to share our challenges, strategize on new approaches, build new alliances, and share success stories is ever more important. And I'm really excited for the next few days. And so with that, I wish you all a fruitful, inspiring, and enjoyable OutSummit, and thank you so much.